Hey everyone, coming up on Sports Central, we have Dan Lauer from the Detroit Tigers. We have Liz Rivera from Food Truck Wars. Absolutely, great event. And we also have Linda Howard from the Winter Haven Stingrays. That and more sports coming up next. Hey everyone, and welcome to Sports Central. I'm Mark Jackson. To my right, Mr. Neil Duncan with you're looking awful frisky today, chipper today.
Well, I need a haircut. I don't know if that's what you mean.
Maybe that's what it is, yeah.
Another Sports Central. Got a lot of great events coming up, and you know, we're really getting into, the entire year is our season anymore here in Polk County, but we're getting into a great time of year. But this first segment,
football.
Yeah. But this first segment, we're going to be brought to us by Legoland Florida, which is good all year long.
Oh, it's awesome. America's best theme park for families with kids 2 to 12 years old.
Absolutely.
Unbelievable. It's great for adults too. And
Absolutely.
Ski show's still going on, and the botanical gardens are as beautiful as ever.
Yep.
And a lot of new stuff coming to Legoland, including a 152-room resort. It is a gem, and it is going to be a superb destination, and Polk County should count themselves as blessed for having Legoland.
Well, another gym in our county is the Detroit Tigers and the Lakeland Flying Tigers, and we got a great guest here with us.
More than 77 years, I believe. Dan's going to correct me in a second. But Dan Lauer from Detroit Tigers, the Lakeland Flying Tigers. Dan, you've been around for a while.
I have.
And, you know, you're operating a major league and minor league baseball complex in operation. No small challenge. I don't care how smart you are, how good you are, how experienced you are, but wow, the Tigers are they're doing nothing but great things. We're hoping that they're going to make it to the World Series. I don't see anything less, but I'm a little biased.
Yeah, right.
I hope so.
Yeah, we do too. Well, Dan, you've had most recently the Flying Tigers closed out their season. Mm-hmm. And, you know, for a family to come and watch the Flying Tigers, or, you know, you're on a date with your husband, your wife, both, whatever it may be, you know, you can have a good time for a very reasonable cost. I mean, it's a blast.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is. I mean, it's extremely family friendly. I mean, and, you know, we think about it, and I think some of the problems is people anticipate having an expensive cost, you know, when they think of a professional sporting event. They think it's going to be a high dollar ticket price, parking, all those things, concessions. But I mean, we're charging $5-6, you know, and we always have, you know. And it's not like this is anything new. It's not something that's changed recently. We still do free parking, so it's great. And you're right. I mean, you can bring your kids out, or you can bring your date, and you're still going to have a good time, you know, and there's something for everybody.
Well, if you think of it in terms of, I know we've had this conversation with Ron Myers, Director of Florida Operations for the Tigers, but if you think about taking the family of 4 to the movies, how much that's going to cost, it's like half that price. Plus, you don't have to put those 3D goggles on because you're watching it right in front of you.
Yeah.
But tell us about record numbers this year, right?
We did. We had record numbers. You know, as Mark just said, I mean, we just closed out our season on Sunday, in fact. So we're just underway in our little recess here until spring. But we did. We had a record season, all new attendance record. We had a revenue record. So it was a great year. You know, and we strive to get better every year, and that's kind of just a little goal that we can hit. And by seeing those numbers, it certainly makes us feel a little bit better. But you know, 64,000 plus, you know, we want to get well over that, obviously. You know, we want to get over 100,000. You know, we want to surpass that, so.
Well, I think it's very doable. And when you take a look at, you know, where we've been, 78 years now, that the Tigers have had the longest running relationship with any spring training community, is a testament in and of itself. But the other side of that is we look to the future. I mean, the Tigers have 3 former Cy Young Award winners on the roster right now. They have batting power extraordinaire, Rivera and the rest of the crew. And then you take a look at the front office, you know, and starting right here in Lakeland with yourself, Zach Burek, Ron Myers, Dombrowski up in Detroit, and you know, it's a team built to last with some incredible talent, both on and off the field. I mean, that said, I mean, it's just a pathway to future success. You know, there's just no question about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's, you know, we're excited about that. You know, we do. We have a great front office. And like you said, I mean, 78 years that we just celebrated, you know, with the Tigers being down here for spring training. And that says a lot, you know, I think for the city, obviously, you know, and they just extended that another 20 years, which is awesome. So, you know, but I think that just says a lot about the organization, the front office, you know, with Dave and Mr. Illich and those guys up in Detroit, you know, and you know, we're a part of that, you know, even though we're down here in the warmer weather, but, you know, we're a part of it, you know, and we're Detroit Tiger employees, you know, and we represent them and we take pride in that. And, you know, even though, you know, the Flying Tigers as a whole is maybe looked upon more as, you know, developing the players, you know, getting those future Verlanders and Porcellos that are now, you know, one's a Cy Young winner and one's doing almost as good, you know, in Porcello. And, so when you get those guys, typically people think, hey, you know, this is a starting ground. We're going to develop these guys and get them up. But I think as of recent, in the past 5-10 years, they've really realized, I think, that, hey, you know, we've really got an entertainment piece in Lakeland. And there's a lot of value to it, and we can really give Lakeland something to do. You know, you mentioned the movies. I mean, that's $32 for 4 people, you know, to go to a movie. And, you know, and that doesn't include food or drinks, you know. And we do Dollar Mondays. So, you know, we had a lot of new families out. You know, we did a lot of partnering with different city chambers, you know, Lake Wales, Winter Haven, Plant City Chamber Nights on those Dollar Mondays. And we had a lot of new faces because they're able to come out for a buck, you know.
Yeah, Thirsty Thursdays.
Well,
you know, they don't call it Thirsty Thursday. I do.
Apparently you still do. But if you look at it, and I think people, and you're right on, Dan, people don't understand, you know, you might occasionally have somebody from the big team, if you will, come down and rehab assignment, or, you know, somebody from the Yankees or whoever it is. You might get those big star names, but you're also seeing the stars of the future. You know, Verlander did pitch in Lakeland, and Porcello as well, correct?
Porcello did, yep.
So you don't necessarily know it at the time, but you can start to see it, and then you're going to see them, and it may be on the Tigers rotation up in Detroit or on another team, but that value aside, but you also do promotional events for kids, not just the family nights, but also you have your educational days, right? Yeah,
I mean, we do 2 education days that are sponsored by Mid-Florida Credit Union and Publix, and our foundation, the Detroit Tigers Foundation of Florida, pays for every 3rd grader to come out to a game. And we give, it's all educational. So, you know, the teachers get a packet of information, teaches them, you know, we tie in some educational pieces to it, but they come out to the game, they watch the game, and we talk to those kids, you know, oh, have you been here before? And they're like, no, you know, and they're so excited, you know, because they've never been there before. It's a heck of a field trip, by the way. I never took one of those as a kid.
I didn't either.
No.
But, you know, and so we do those things. And, you know, we actually just had out, the other weekend, we had, you know, the whole Frozen, you know, hoopla and all that craze. You know, we actually had out 2 characters, the Anna and Elsa. You know, this company had them, and they came out, and I mean, it was nuts. I mean, the lines were crazy just to meet these. You know, so we cater to the kids, and you know, and it was great. It turned out well. So.
Well, you've got other events that go on there. I mean, you do you know, people don't think of the Detroit Tigers as great corporate citizens, but they are. You know, it's an organization. You mentioned the foundation, and it's an organization that gives back to the community, and we don't see that all over the country necessarily in corporate America, but the Tigers do, and I think that comes down from a guy that I personally would consider the best owner in Major League Baseball, and that is Mr. Illich. Dave Dombrowski is, I think right now, he is the pinnacle in management in Major League Baseball. But you know, you also do other events. I mean, you're involved in rugby. You had soccer, collegiate baseball.
We had the Toronto Argonauts come down, the professional football team from Canada. So,
you know, it's just a great opportunity for you to showcase the facility. And where is it? It's right here in Polk County.
Yeah, and we're a year-round facility. I mean, people think of us, you know, there's still that common misconception that we're only open when the Tigers are in town. For those couple months, that's it. And then it's like we shut down. Yeah. And I've been with the team now for 5 years, and so I still hear some of that, and it rubs me a little bit, but I understand. So we've got them, and then all of a sudden people think we disappear. Well, then they find out we've got the Flying Tigers here for another 5 or 6 months. And then after that, people are like, okay, now what do you do? And then now we start doing all these off-season events. Last year we did our first trick-or-treat event at the stadium. We're doing it again this year, and it benefits a local nonprofit. We're doing a craft beer fest this year to benefit.
When is that?
November 8th. If you want to come. So, but it all goes to benefit local. I know, I just sold a ticket. But it's all tied into a local nonprofit, and I think that's the key thing for us. And that's working with the community and keeping our local folks involved, and we're always doing something. Even if spring training's not here.
And you talk about the Lakeland Flying Tigers and all the things you can do to draw people to the park, because at the end of the day, you have your hands tied behind your back when it comes to the actual product on the field, because at that level, anytime someone starts doing really, really well for your team, they move up a level. Yeah. So then you have to it's hard with the chemistry of the team. I know a couple of years removed from winning the Florida State League, but year in and year out, it's hard to know what kind of team you're going to have on the field. So it's not about the wins and losses, it's about the experience. Is that true?
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's the one thing we can't, second thing, we can't control the weather, but we can't control the team on the field either. Right. But, and I think that's why by doing all these different events, that's how we get around that. We don't know who we're going to have out, if we're going to have our top prospect. Right. But real quickly, the cool thing about that is that last year we had Kyle Ryan, who's a local Auburndale kid. He got a start this year for the Tigers. He was here all last year in Lakeland pitching the Flying Tigers. He went up and he did better than Verlander did, his last start. He threw like 6 shutout innings. Stephen Moya, Tyler Collins, all these guys were here last year. So that's really neat to look at, and that's why our season ticket holders love it, because they can say, "Oh wow, I saw this guy when he was just a kid."
Developing.
But yeah, we can't control that, but it is neat when you get those top prospects. This year, we had a couple of guys, but other than that, these guys are just working hard and trying to have fun and further their careers. But we worry about what's going on off the field, and that's the entertainment piece, keeping the fans excited and happy, and keep them coming back. So.
Well, it's fundamentally. It's an economic engine for Polk County. And the beauty of the Tigers and the Flying Tigers, there's just new money in truckloads coming into the county. Well, it makes all of our businesses that much better off. Certainly it helps the Tigers and my good friend Steve Quinn, CFO of the Tigers, who I failed to mention as part of that stellar front office.
You're going to be in trouble if you hadn't done that.
I was going to rib him on his water skiing, but I won't do that.
I won't either. He's my boss.
Yeah, well, Steve's a great guy.
Good idea not to do that.
But from top to bottom, it's a machine that's put together in cooperation with the city of Lakeland, superb hosts, Polk County, to generate jobs, generate revenue for the community. And hey, we can't say enough. Right. And our sincere thanks on behalf of the county and the businesses and citizens. We appreciate you guys. You guys are fantastic to work with.
Well, partners like you guys, and of course, City of Lakeland and Parks and Rec. It's all part of it.
We won't mention Bob Donahue. We'll throw him out of that.
Yeah, especially with his Packers playing tonight. I don't want to bring that up,
he's in good company at this table.
Over there, not here.
All right, good.
But thanks, Dan.
But yeah, all that stuff is
Dan, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Say hi to all of our friends up in Detroit, and of course Zach and Ron over at Tigertown.
Will do.
Good to see you. Well, everybody, we're going from baseball to golf. Absolutely. Well, it's the sort of closing down a little bit on the PGA Tour, but there's still great time, and we're heading into the fall where it's a little cooler, to polish up your game. Matt Jordan from Stream Song Resort has a few tips for you and for Neil, because he needs them. Check this out. Mark and Neil, we'll be back right after this.
Welcome to Stream Song Resort. My name is Matt Jordan. I'm one of 2 PGA head golf professionals. And today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about putting here. I'm on Stream Song number 17 Blue, and the blue golf course was designed by Tom Doak of Renaissance Golf. When playing the blue course, you're going to see that there's quite a few undulations in our greens, and our greens are very fast and firm. So what I'm going to do today is talk to you about reading the greens. Very difficult to do when you have all these undulations. When you have a straight putt, something that's level, you can just aim for the hole and hit it. But what the golf course architect did was put all of these mounds and hills to make it more difficult for you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to survey my putt. As I step back here, I'm taking a look at the golf ball and I'm looking at the hole. First thing that I see is that we have an uphill putt. You can see as I'm starting to walk towards this pin how much of an uphill as I start to climb all the way up to the peak here. So I know that I'm going to have to hit this a little bit firmer. The second thing I'm going to do is I notice that it's a little bit higher up on that side of the green than it is down here. So I'm going to step back further away and I'm going to see that it is downhill from this point. So I know standing back there that I got to hit it uphill, I got to hit it a little firmer, and I'm going to see the putt start breaking a little bit more to this way, to the right. So as I walk back over here to take a look at my putt, and I stand back here, I can see this thing going uphill, so I'm going to have to hit it firmer. And now I got to figure out how much I have to hit it to the left so that it breaks to the right. What I do in my mind is I visualize a bucket of water, and I'm throwing this bucket of water towards the pin. And which way is this gravity, this water is going to start flowing towards the hole. When I do that, I can kind of visualize and see that this is probably going to break about 5 feet. So as I set up to hit this putt, I'm going to aim 5 feet to the left, and I'm going to start taking a couple of practice strokes to kind of gauge how firm I need to make my swing. So I get up, kind of visualize this putt going in, breaking left to right. I have a couple of putting strokes here. I set up, aim at that spot, and hope for the best. I hope this tip was helpful. My name is Matt Jordan. I'm the head golf professional at Streamsong Resort. We'll see you soon.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to Sports Central for segment number 2. This is Mark Jackson along with my cohort, Mr. Neil Duncan.
This segment is going to be brought to us by Hungry Howie's, great partner of tourism and sports marketing. And
They
did
have
you
great pizza.
they do, but I want to know.
mushroom and onion.
Maybe we can get some for the next show for you, sir.
I think the next break would be nice.
I want to make sure that you actually watch that putting tip that we just saw, because I've been golfing with you. You might hit it far, but you can't roll it short. Guess we should just move on.
I
We
don't
will
think
move
he's
on.
even going to touch that.
You want to redo that Hungry Howie's thank you, or just move on from
No, we'll just move on.
We'll move right on.
I just want to take a
Okay,
shot at your golf game.
Probably a good move. But anyway, everybody, you know, baseball, golf, swimming, all great summer sports. And the Winter Haven Stingrays have been around for a long, long time. And probably the most famous, not probably, the most famous swimmer to come out of Winter Haven, triple gold medal winner, Rowdy Gaines. And there is an event, a meet, if you will, that is named after him. It's coming up here in a couple of weeks, and it's worth checking out. But we have somebody here to tell you all about it. Her name, Linda Howard. Linda, thanks for joining us.
Thanks. I appreciate you having me here.
We are so happy to have you back, and for 2 reasons. You have a great event, and when you're on the show, you know what I know is happening?
What?
It's football season. So, no, it's like the calendar just
It's a
keeps
great
moving.
thing, right?
It is.
What if
And-
you have me in April? We have a meet in April, too.
Well, I'm talking about this event.
Yeah, okay.
We can do that too, because you know what? We do have football. You know who's in April coming
Football.
up? No. The Marine Raiders.
Oh, yeah. The indoor 2014 XL League.
Dementia Senegan.
Yeah, they won the championship. But before we derail too far, you got your event coming up. When is it?
Yes, sir. It is September 19th, 20th, and 21st. It's a 3-day event.
Oh, it's a 3-day event.
Yes.
Oh.
They always are. Our meets are always 3 days.
Yeah, but this is a big one though. This is a big event. A lot of
Yes.
athletes. Yeah.
Yes, we are expecting up to 600 athletes. And that is a lot of athletes.
And that's grown over the years, and it's a testament to the quality of the event. And we're looking at
Yes.
ages, as young as 6 years old, right?
Yes, we actually have, this event has 6 and unders as a category even. Usually it's like 8 and unders or 10 and unders. But for the short course season, which is what we're in right now, we also have a 6 and under age group. So
This is
you
a
may
youth
have-
event though.
Yes.
It's,
Well-
what's the top age?
You have what's called a senior age group, which is anyone 15 and up. Okay, I'm not going to point fingers because I'm right up there with you. Probably older than you and in the same ballpark. So anyway, but some of our good friends, you know, Dr. Oliva, they swim in the...
Oh, do they really?
Yeah, sometimes they swim events in it also.
Brian Boissard?
Brian usually sticks to the senior games specifically, but
he's high.
He's just coming back from shoulder surgery, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Right shoulder, do you think? Probably from doing all that adagio doubles at Cypress Gardens when he skied there.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yes, so we have anyone from maybe a 4-year-old up to, there's no age limit.
So you're going to have some of the nation's best swimmers. I mean, Dr. Oliva was, you know, phenomenal.
Yes.
Senior games and all of that
Yes.
type of stuff. And, you know, of course, Florida swimming and some of your own athletes are, you know, ranked athletes. They're good.
Yes,
Boys
they
and
are.
girls, I mean.
Yes, they are. We pride ourselves on having a very strong developmental team, getting a lot of kids involved. We make it reasonable so that anyone can really come in and be a part of the team, and developing them, keeping the sport fun for them, so that if they want to swim going off to college, because college swimming is hard, that they don't hate it before they ever get to college, that, you know, because it is a lot of work, but we try and keep it fun for them.
Speaking of the moving on, what events? I know we're starting, you know, the little ones, they're what, maybe 25 meter, or is it even less than that?
Short course is a yards event, so
Okay.
it's yards, 25 yards and 50 yards. Most of the little ones, like our 6 and under age groups, do 25-yard events and 50-yard events. And they do butterfly, backstroke, breaststroke, freestyle. Most of those kids, I mean, we start teaching them immediately all the strokes.
So you go across the pool then?
Yes,
perpendicular.
yes. If you're looking at the pool, if you're looking at the Rowdy Gaines pool, long ways it's the meters. It's 50 meters long by 25 yards.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you learned something there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's, and then how many do you anticipate having at that level? Because I'm assuming that most of those participants would be kids of other participants, right? I mean, is that how that typically works?
Not necessarily. I mean, if you've got a young kid starting to swim, the fun part is getting to go to the meet. So they may be, you know, they may be a 6-year-old, but it's like they want to go to the meet. So their parents load it up and bring them to Winter Haven.
Fantastic.
It's called economic impact.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You know, they're the little monsters that are out there going to Legoland either before or after that when they swim.
Exactly, and
you know,
we
which we
promote
know
that.
Yeah. It's a great opportunity for them.
It's the pool is in a fabulous location. You can walk to the motels, you can walk to lots of food.
Right.
And then you have Legoland.
Well, there was
10
something
minutes away.
going on last weekend because I drove by, or last week maybe, because I drove by and it was like, what are all these cars here for?
Was it a weekday?
I think so.
Yes, high school swimming has started. It's high school swim season
Oh,
also.
okay.
Like I'm a coach for Oasis Christian Academy high school team.
Oasis Christian, where's that
It used to be
located?
Haven Christian Academy.
Oh, yeah.
It's on King Road, and
Yeah.
now it's Oasis Christian Academy.
Oh, okay.
I started that team back when my oldest daughter, who is now graduated. And
You still doing the
graduated from
dance
college.
thing, by the way?
Yes, I am. That started this week too. Yeah.
Well, we're glad we got time. You had some time to come see us.
In my spare time.
Well, we did
In
a
my
special
spare
feature.
time.
They were national champions
Yeah,
last year.
yeah, I remember.
mean, it was pretty impressive.
Yes, we go to a national every year. So yes, we just started that, starting up practicing that too. But the high school meets have started, and those are on Tuesdays and Thursdays at the pool. So
Okay.
Stingrays still practice, and then you have all the high school teams there. 5 teams use that pool.
How's the new
Scoreboard?
scoreboard?
Scoreboard is awesome. Have you been by to see it?
No.
That looks
I've been by, I just haven't
fabulous
been
up
by
there.
to see that.
It looks
See
great.
that,
You
yeah.
need to come by during the meet sometime and see it all lit up, and it looks fabulous.
Well,
it is so cool. It makes it. That was like the final thing that pool needed.
Well, Eddie Twyford was as persuasive as
Yes.
he can be, was just absolutely sold. And I said, Eddie, it's all about results. Tell me what, at the end of the day, is going to happen. Bottom line is, by getting the scoreboard in place and all of this type of stuff, it puts the Stingrays in a position to work with sports marketing and recruit major events.
Right.
Because you have to have that.
Right.
So there you have it. That's the results that I was asking of Eddie, and he was very forthright in providing those to me.
Forthcoming and giving you those results, I bet.
Yeah.
This is kind of off of the topic of the the event, but you mentioned that the high school season is going. In Polk County, as we see at the All Sports Awards each June, is so rich in talent in all sports across the whole county. How does swimming or diving stand up against other, just Polk County high schools and competing in swimming and diving against other schools in the
around
state?
the other state, around the other schools in the state? We do well. We have, as opposed to a larger city, say Orlando or Tampa, our high school teams don't really make you try out. I know all of the coaches and stuff, and most of us pretty much so let everybody be on the team that can get across the pool. Having said that, they don't all get to swim in the events.
Right.
But we always, as small as my team is, I have yet to not take someone to state every year.
That's fantastic.
And every team around here almost always takes someone to state. So we are very competitive.
I saw in the Ledger and Polk Preps a few weeks ago, and I can't remember. I guess there's a diver in the county, maybe Frostproof or Auburn. I can't remember what. They're very good and has a good chance to win the state in diving. So that's why my question.
Yes. Like the Voizard young man won last year, and the schools in Polk County are of all different 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, and so state is done the same way. And the smaller schools are 1A, and then it goes on up to 4A. But he is in I believe it's a 3A. I think Frostproof is, Frostproof is with us. It's 1A.
1A.
Yes, he's with us in 1A.
Great.
And he has a good shot of winning this year.
Well, and obviously that all starts with clubs like the Winter Haven Stingrays.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about the organization, how people can get involved, because you have to start somewhere.
Yep.
Might as well start now.
And is there a website? That's
Yes, we do have a
question.
website now. So if you it's winterhavenstingrays.org.
Okay.
And we also have a Facebook page. And we start kids as young as 5 years old. They have to be able to swim the width, 25 yards freestyle and 25 yards backstroke. Doesn't have to be pretty. It's basically $140 to get started, which compared to some sports is minimal. And then it's just $40 a month. And what's awesome about it, having been involved in numerous activities, is there are practice times Monday through Friday, but you can come to any or all of those that work into your schedule.
Logan ever have any interest in swimming?
I don't know where he would fit it in, just because the football, the basketball, the baseball, soccer. But
it's a great complementary sport to other things because it keeps your body strong, aerobic capacity, and you're unlikely to get hurt.
Right.
Well,
Unlikely.
Well, I mean, there are those occasional kids that are like, I think I'll do backstroke.
Straight into the wall,
we're all given different gifts, skills, what have you, and not everybody is made to be or is built like Brett Favre. To be a football player,
right?
Or as an interest in that. Some kids are better suited. God has given them a certain gifts for gymnastics or swimming or whatever it may be. Just use your gifts in some way, shape, or form. And swimming point is that swimming provides that outlet for so many because it is strength, but it's also combined with endurance. So I think it's a great combo.
And swimming,
flexibility too.
It doesn't really matter your shape or size. For football, you do need to be a little bigger and tougher, and usually basketball taller, but they come in all sizes in swimming.
Right. I knew better than even look at you. Well, we really appreciate it, and good luck again. The event is September 19th through the 21st there at the Rowdy Gaines.
That's right. There's no charge. You can just come by and check it out.
It's at the Chain of Lakes complex right there at the corner of Cypress Gardens Boulevard and Highway 17. You can't miss it, right by the stadium. And it's a gorgeous facility. You guys have...
It is, especially with that new scoreboard.
Yeah, it's awesome. Fantastic stuff. Well, we're not going to let swimming die right there because I'll tell you, the crew from PGTV, they're good, and they're real good. They put together a piece from last year's Get Rowdy Swimming Championships. It's pretty special. At least we think so. We hope you do too. Check it out. We'll be back. Stick around, everybody.
Stingray swim team is hosting a swim meet at Rowdy Gaines Olympic Pool here in Winter Haven.
This is our first meet of the season. I'm from Lakeland Area Swimming. We have kids from the ages as young as 6 all the way through 18. We have our little kids swimming here today. This is the first meet of the short course season. So we have about 20 kids swimming today. Some of them, a lot of them for their first meet ever.
We're over here. We brought 40 swimmers over, and we're having a great time. Actually, they start here and they get best times, and they try to make flag cuts, and they actually just go on from here to flags, which is the highest you can get in the age group.
We have 538 entered swimmers, 23 teams, one of which is from Costa Rica. The other teams are from throughout the state of Florida, as far as Stewart, Orlando, Tampa.
Well, I've been coaching swimming now for almost 18 years, and I actually was a swimmer at George Jenkins High School and for the City of Lakeland Aquatics.
We have teams representative from Polk County. That would be Lakeland Area Swimming and T-Bay Lakeland Area Aquatics, and of course us, the Winter Haven Stingrays.
This sets the stepping stone for the kids for the rest of the short course season, which will run through March. So this is where they'll set all their beginning of their season times, and then we'll go from there to try and improve them and work hard to improve their strokes.
Anyway, the event is run from Friday night. We started last night, went through the big storm last night right here in Winter Haven. It was quite eventful. And events continue with older kids swimming in the morning and younger kids swimming in the afternoon, both Saturday and Sunday.
And this has helped the kids, become strong, cardiovascular, stays in shape, and it gives them an individual but yet a team sense.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Sports Central. I'm Mark Jackson. To my right, Neil Duncan. And Neil, that was some great footage from the Get Rowdy race last year in Winter Haven, and I'm looking forward to a bigger and better event this year. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, 3 days, 600 participants, and of course their families and people coming from all over Florida and
Dumping
the
more
US.
money off, we love it.
It's a great thing. Hey, maybe they'll be staying at this segment sponsor's property, Sunsplash Vacation Homes. Great
Vacation
partner.
rental homes.
Yeah.
There's for those of you that don't know what those are, there's about 7,000 of them in Polk County, and one of the largest concentrations in the world between Polk County and Osceola County. It is the largest concentration, and it's a great way for people, especially people if you have guests or friends, family, whatever, from a foreign country, they want to come over and stay. They can stay in a 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom, 5-bedroom home with a pool, kind of experience true American lifestyle on a daily basis. Pretty cool.
Absolutely. Speaking of cool events, we got another one right for this
unbelievable. This was, we were talking about getting rowdy. We're going to get rowdy at the Food Truck Wars, which is coming for its second time to Winter Haven. It was a blast last year, a little warm, but it was a ton of fun, and the food was outstanding. With us, Liz Rivera Otts. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Good.
Yeah.
Are you ready for another
Ready
event?
to do this?
Took
Yes,
her
we
a
are
year to
ready.
get refreshed and relaxed.
Oh my gosh.
It was busy
to
last
cool
year.
off.
Oh yeah. Well, we got a new date this year, and it's coming up
Yes.
in just a couple of weeks.
Yes, it
Let's
is.
hear about what you got going there.
We've got September 20th.
Mm-hmm.
We've actually moved the event just a little bit, just a couple blocks away, but hopefully that'll cool things off a little bit, because last year I think it was the hottest day ever in Florida.
Well, can't control those things, but
No, we can't control
certainly
the
the
weather.
move might help that out.
Yes, so we're in Central Park this year, which is just a couple blocks on the other side of the library, but that'll give us lots of shade and lots of ambiance, so a really nice event.
Before I forget, Tallulah's,
Yes.
Harry's old place in
Yes.
Winter Haven. That's Bruce and Harry and Debbie. Are they coming back?
Oh, yes.
Are they?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I just spoke with them yesterday to make sure, to confirm, but not only that, they're helping us out with some bacon issues, so
Bacon.
You have my attention.
I know,
Oh
eh?
man, better
Well,
call
we-
Billy Abernathy and tell him from EOC.
We are doing Food Truck Wars with a twist of bacon in Winter Haven, so that's going to make things real interesting. So Tallulah's is actually providing us the space to keep the bacon until the day of the event.
Oh, nice.
So is it like? Well, talk to us about the different
tell us what it
categories or
is.
who's coming.
Okay. Well, let's see. The different categories. They're first of all, there's 40 food trucks that are going to
Wow.
be competing. They're from all over the state. So you have trucks coming from Miami, Jacksonville, Ormond Beach. I mean, all over. Orlando, of course,
Yeah.
my home place. And Winter Haven. And they'll be competing in 5 different categories. We have 5 judges. The judges are very qualified to judge food, on a very high scale level. And so the 5 categories are top sales, the Bacon Award this time around, which
Okay.
is the most prestigious. No, actually the People's Choice Award is the most prestigious, because that's the one that the people that come get to
Right.
vote on.
Oh, okay.
And then we have casual cuisine and delectable dessert. And our judges are coming from the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association. We have Cisco involved this time. Their executive chef, Luis Reyes, will be there. Jillian Hockey is coming back. She was the winner of Cupcake Wars. And we have the Second Harvest Food Bank is sending some students that they're going to be teaching to judge.
Oh,
So
cool.
that'll be really cool. So we, get a little more involved in the food sampling, the food tasting there. And so yeah, it's going to be a really great event.
This is some good stuff, and it's an event that I attended last year with my wife Mary Beth. I mean, we just had an absolute ball, and I'd never been to one before, so I didn't know. Well, I sort of knew, but what to expect, and until you do something, you really don't know what
Right.
it's all about. I'm telling you, from the time we walked on site until the time probably that I got back home later that night, we just had so much fun. It
Right.
was a gas. There's great food. You run into people, friends and people that you don't know. It was great. Misting fans and some other stuff, make a huge difference. Being in Central Park, though, with all those beautiful trees and
Yes.
access to the different shops,
Yes.
it's going to be a spectacular affair this year. I think it's going to be
Yes.
superb. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely. And
The date is,
the date is September 20th. It's from 2 to 8.
okay?
And we also have other entertainment that will be there as well. We can't leave out the fact that Cactus Jack and the Cadillacs will be there this year to entertain us. They are awesome.
Cactus Jack and the Cadillacs?
Cactus Jack, they are just a great band.
Okay.
And they've agreed to be here. We got them through a few ties with relatives, I think.
Pulling those,
You have to
calling those
pull on
favors
your
in.
resources.
Food and relatives. That's a pretty good combination.
And we will have a couple of beer stations for those that would like to indulge a little.
Oh,
We have some bounce houses for the kids so they can jump themselves to
hit the beer station, go to the bounce house. Yeah.
so they knock themselves out. So yeah, it'll be a really great time.
Well, let's talk about cost. What's the average cost? I mean, because there's different prices, right, when you go to the
Yes.
different trucks, depending on
Yes.
what you're looking for.
Right.
What are the averages?
Around $6 to $8 is
Okay.
the average entree, so it's affordable for a family. And you know, so there are lobster trucks, and the lobster trucks are not going to be $6 to $8. But there are also other trucks, you know, taco trucks. There are just so many different kinds of food. You just have to come out and see it to believe it. You know?
I think I hit 2 lobster trucks last year.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you
They hit
mentioned
me.
something about bacon. I want to know what the bacon. We got to know about the bacon.
Oh, Billy Abernathy, he wants to know more.
So Cisco is one of our sponsors this year, and they've agreed to give us some bacon to use. So each truck will have to do the dish that they're being judged on has to include bacon, but they also have to have that bacon dish available to the public for purchase. So it's going to be great, and they gave me a case of bacon to sample it. So I haven't given bacon to my neighbors. My refrigerator is full of bacon. I'm so sorry.
Hey, well, that's strike two, because I do believe that last year when we had you on, we said, hey, next year we'll be happy to be judges. And you just talked about the judges, and I don't remember her saying Neil and Mark, do you?
No.
The qualifications.
Maybe next year.
Well,
Oh, we're qualified either.
I think his qualifications are self-evident.
Wow. You ever seen a host of a TV show just push right up his But again, the event is I'm just moving on before I respond. The event is the 20th?
The 20th of September, yes.
And is there a cost to admission, or just the cost for the trucks?
Just the
whatever
cost
you
of
buy?
the trucks, whatever you purchase,
Okay.
yes. And I have to say, too, before I forget to do this, because I don't want to forget, the City of Winter Haven has been just fantastic to work with. They are just awesome people. And last year when we did this event, it was seamless. And we do this in a lot of different cities with a lot of different partners. And let me tell you, I just couldn't wait to get back to Winter Haven. So props to them for being such great partners.
They have a good team, and when the tough gets going, they get going.
Yes, they
and
do.
Donna Sheehan, I know she was supposed to have joined you today, but I think she was out, I believe she was out running with my wife last night, and they have this little 2-2s for 10 5K thing that they do every Wednesday night out of the wine bar in Winter Haven, and had a big time. So I don't know if running in 95-degree heat affected her, but she is one busy lady and very organized. So she's a great one to. And Michael, you have to say thanks to Michael Stavers and Derek Fiacher too.
Absolutely.
You know, they've made it possible and used some of their resources, human and otherwise. So thanks go to them.
And Main Street Winter Haven.
Oh yeah,
involved.
Anita Strang.
Anita,
she's a blast.
wonderful.
Yeah.
And Visit Central Florida. Everybody's just been so great here.
Yeah, that's good to hear, and we've heard that a lot before, that the welcoming environment here makes it great for the organizers.
Yes, it does.
And it makes it great for the participants. So there you have it, everybody. September 20th. Make sure that you get out and check out Food Truck Wars. And if you have, is there a website where people can go?
Absolutely, foodtruckwars.com.
foodtruckwars.com. Go to the Winter Haven tab and check it out. Or you can go to centralfloridasports.com or visit centralflorida.org.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a pin here. You make a note for next year's
The
judges. Go
judges?
ahead and just take care of that right now.
Well, they need to have one for celebrity judges of lobster.
Oh, I see what you did
Judge
there.
Lobster?
I see what you did there. The two
Lobster and
places you
beer
went last year.
combo.
That's right. Thank you so much.
You'd be
Good luck
happy
with
to
your
judge it.
event.
Thank you
Liz,
for
thanks a
having
million.
us.
We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, everybody, we've got a distraction here. Our on-site director is correcting Neil. We do have, this is something you don't see every single day. And it's something that, quite frankly, we're proud of in Polk County and proud of in the state of Florida. You know what that is? It's rodeo. So we have a guy, his name is Seth Roberts, out of Polk City. This kid is good. This kid is 8 years old. Check it out. Excuse me. He's in 8th grade. I stand corrected, as I usually do, sort of like at home. You know how it goes. Anyway, some great footage. Some rodeo and Mark and Neil. We'll be back with more. Stick around, everybody.
All right, your first junior breakaway will be Seth Roberts. 5.29 from Mr. Roberts. Pay that cowboy off.
about 3 years ago, he just came to us and started expressing an interest in wearing Western clothing, jeans, Wrangler jeans, Western shirts, felt black hats, and then the rest is history.
The breakaway, your calf runs out, you rope them, and your rope's tied onto your saddle horn so it breaks off, and that's how you get timed. The tie down, your rope's tied on, you rope your calf, you run down to him, you gotta flank him and tie him, and that's how you get your time. It's really hard. You don't get a whole lot of good shots where you can go ahead and take it, but when you do, you gotta go ahead and throw them. Always have a rope, always roping something, roping a dummy. Sometimes you miss. You have to hold it with your spoke. Your spoke's from your hand, your elbow has touched the knot of that Honda, and that's just like your handle. I rope every day the dummy, and then 2-3 times a week I'll go over to people's houses and rope calves and rope steers. This is just groundwork.
You know, we've got a 19-year-old boy that played baseball his whole life, and we thought just naturally Seth would grow up playing baseball. We had him enrolled in baseball, we had him enrolled in football, taekwondo. Nothing ever worked out.
T-ball, football, all that stuff, just never really enjoyed it. Shoot dogging, you're in a buck and shoot with a steer, and you gotta shape them, which you put the right horn in your elbow right there, and you grab the left horn with your hand, and you nod. Your steer comes out, you have to walk him to a line, and then as soon as you get past that line, you've got to mug him and throw him. He's got to roll over on all 4 feet, he's got to point out one direction. Yeah, that was a strong steer. He had me by surprise. It's hard because me being a little under 100 pounds and that steer's 400 pounds, you gotta be on top of him. I roped my calf and tied him down all year faster than anybody. So I had the most points out of anybody and won. I want to grow up and train horses and hope to make it to the NFR. That's the National Finals Rodeo. That's where all the big time ropers and everyone in the rodeo, the big shots, that's where they go. Danny McClellan, Mike Matthews, they've helped me a lot. And a professional guy is Tough Cooper. He's a real good calf roper. He just never misses. He's practicing every day.
Seth has a tremendous work ethic, you know, for his age. I've never seen anything quite like it. He gets out here and rides, and yeah, sometimes we have to make him come home, or come inside rather.
With the horse?
Well, he's tried once. Walking through the house one day, I look on the back patio and I see him on the patio with the horse.
Let the door open, the horse walks up in there. I tried to walk him in.
You know, the horse's head sticking in through the hallway.
And he said no.
And of course, I had to tell him no.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to Sports Central, our fourth and final segment. I'm Mark Jackson. To my right, Mr. Neil Duncan, and wow, Food Truck Wars, that's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. And you got to plan a whole day.
Absolutely. Before we forget, this segment brought to us by Holiday Inn Winter Haven. Great property there in Winter Haven, great partner in tourism and sports marketing. But going back to the Food Truck Wars, you're seeing more and more of these pop up, and this is the second year that this event has been in Winter Haven. Of course, she was talking about the great partners that Winter Haven is, and there's a reason that people bring their events to Polk County. It's because of the people that help put them on, because these events don't just happen. It takes a lot of planning, and as we talk about the local update here, when we talk about these events, a lot of work goes into the economic impact that results from these events.
And this is really more of a food truck war on steroids. You've got 40 trucks from, there's actually one coming from Texas. They're coming from all over the state of Florida, a few from the southeast, but you know, this is a big deal. This is a really big deal.
Yep.
And a little insider's tip, if you get a chance, when you go, make sure you go to the lobster trucks, because those, I'm telling you, They're awesome.
Aren't you judging that portion of the competition
We're gonna
next
set
year?
one
Apparently,
up next year. I can tell you that.
Hey, well, another event that's coming up that we won't be participating in is the 9th annual Aiken Quad event. This event is
ain't happening.
No,
the event's happening,
but we're not in it.
No, maybe on a bike.
The first race is a 5K around Lake Hollingsworth.
Quad meaning 4, not your quads, but quad as in 4 events, right?
Right.
Okay.
The first event is a 5K around Lake Hollingsworth. Then the next day is a 1 mile sprint around Lake Morton. Then the next day is a 2 mile loop around Lake Hunter. And then the fourth day is a 5K around Lake Hollingsworth.
I'd rather poke myself in the eye with a sharp stick.
But you know what? These are great athletes that do this, and it really is a challenge, but not me. I'll be at the food truck wars.
Yeah, you got that. What is the date? September 12th. So,
September 12th.
Yeah,
it all starts the 12th. And
I mean, that is absolutely crazy. My wife didn't say anything about running in that. How about Leanne? Is she going to?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Got enough work chasing you around.
Oh, jeez. Moving right along, the WABA JUCO High School Fall Twin Classic.
What's WABA?
World Amateur Baseball Association.
Thank you very much, Mr. Duncan.
That event will be September 12th through the 14th, and that's at the Lake Myrtle Sports Park.
He's got a lot going on. Bing Tyus, who's also just happens to be the chairman president of the World Amateur Baseball Association, is also the athletic director for Polk State College, and boy, what a program he's developed there in sports. Unreal.
Well, and because of his accomplishments here in Polk County, was inducted to the Polk County Sports Hall of Fame this past June. And
long overdue.
Long overdue, and a great individual, and for everything he's done for Polk County. Not just Polk State, but for Polk County and large.
You know, a lot of the stick and ball sports are winding up. Baseball, for example, softball, but the Independent Softball Association is really a 12-month-a-year, 365 day, 52-week-a-year program. And, you know, ISA, based in Bartow, changed their name from the Independent Softball Association to the Independent Sports Association, so they're involved in a number of sports. Right. But in the month of September, they're really, really active, you know, and they've got qualifiers for their national championships and World Series events. So, you know, you can check those out. And the best way to do that is go to visitcentralfloridasports.com for all the softball and all the sports actions, the more than 230 that tourism and sports marketing is involved in here in Polk County, making money for the citizens and businesses of Polk County. One of your favorites, partly because Logan is a soccer aficionado, but the Florida Youth Soccer Association, which is the governing body of the sport. Now, each sport has a official governing body, and if there's an Olympic affiliation, then they're part of the United States Olympic Committee family. But FYSA, based out at Lake Myrtle, is holding their Premier League championships, boys one weekend, girls the next, and this is a big deal.
Yeah, you're talking about the top teams from Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, Arkansas, Louisiana, North Carolina, Georgia, South Carolina, and of course Florida, all coming into Lake Myrtle for this
boys and girls
Premier League event. So a great event there. You can't say enough about the partnership that between the City of Auburndale, Tourism and Sports Marketing, and the Florida Youth Soccer Association. But another great partner is the Ledger, and they're having their Junior
partner
Super
of ours,
Series.
that is.
Yeah,
they are, you know, and hey, you know, Neil, we do have to extend our thanks to the Ledger and their editorial department, of course, Lenore and Kevin and the rest of them over there. But Rick Brown, special kudos to Rick, because he was on the show a couple of weeks ago, and just the stuff he says, you start looking for different things when you see the Bucks in training camp, or you see them, you know, on the field. It's just, Rick said that.
Yeah.
Rick said that. You know, but his insights into the locker room stuff's pretty cool too.
It is, and it's not just what you see on the field, but what goes on behind the scenes that makes it all unfolds on the field. But the Ledger, their group, we couldn't do the All Sports Awards event in June without them. So kudos and a special thank you to the Ledger Media Group.
Good community partner. They do a lot of great things. Well, they have a Super Series coming up. It's one of the oldest tennis events in the state of Florida.
Yeah, it'll be at the Bierman Family Tennis Complex. That's September 13th through the 15th
in Lakeland.
And of course, partnership with the City of Lakeland Parks and Recreation to put that event on. So at the Bierman Family Tennis Complex, great event right here in Polk County.
Yeah, well, I know you've got a good working relationship with Dave Bierman and also Bob Donahue, who you guys are going to be heading north with the Tigers. So
yeah, and it is an important part of that relationship with the Detroit Tigers that we don't just have them come down here and then not see them the rest of the year, because, you know, they're in a pennant race right now, trying to win that American League Central, I believe, for the 4th consecutive year, and making sure that, you know, it's not just with the people in the Tigers organization local, but it's having those connections up in Detroit, making sure that they know how much we appreciate them, because the economic impact, as you stated in the beginning of the show, is enormous for Polk County.
Well, it's huge, Neil, but touch on that a little bit and how the importance of relationships. You know, you can talk numbers all you want, and a lot of people try to get by that way in marketing and sales, and where it is. It's about relationships.
And I alluded to it earlier, these events don't just happen. It takes a lot of people. Yes, it takes resources, capital resources, but the human resources that go into these events, sometimes you need to be able just to pick up the phone and say, hey, we need help, or if you need help, give us a call. Those partnerships, that's, you know, it's networking 101. You've got to have those people in place that you can count on, and Polk County is a fantastic community with that, whether it be a municipality or it's the county commission here, Jim Freeman, the county manager, all the way down. It takes everybody to build that economic impact, because let's face it, at the end of the day, the #1 industry in the state of Florida is tourism, #2 is sports, and we're well suited for both of them. And main reason why we don't pay personal income tax, so that's good for all of us.
You know, a lot of folks that overlook certain sports that take place. Some aren't even aware of it until the Olympics take place, and table tennis is one of them. And you know, Lakeland has become a real hotbed for table tennis tournaments, and some real high-level ones. In fact, I think the one that's coming up, which is called the Mid-Florida Table Tennis September Classic, is a level 2, which is like bringing people in from all over the country.
Yeah, September 19th and 20th, and of course that's at Simpson Park Community Center, which is kind of the hub of all that activity. They do a great job. The Lakeland Table Tennis Association, they do a great job and put these events on. So just another, we talk about diversifying what we go after or what we do here, because, you know, you can only have so much of this sport or so much of this sport, and you have to let fields rest, and you have to do the other things. So if you're covering all sports, or, you know, arts and culture, or
diversifies
special
your portfolio,
events, absolutely.
just like your own personal portfolio. You know, you just don't dust it all.
Speaking of, we have a lot of great roadways here in Polk County, and the Tour de Toe will be Saturday, September 20th. This is Bartow's on-road cycling event.
Tour de Toe? Tour de Toe.
Bartow, Tour de Toe. But Trish Pfeiffer, of course, city commissioner now for the city of Bartow.
She's been around for a while.
She has. Real instrumental in this event, a great event.
Active lady, gives back and is involved in the community, and that's what it really takes. You know, these sporting events can come and go, but it's people involved in the community that make it strong.
Absolutely.
So, one more I would like to identify here, and we have about a minute. Less than a minute to talk about it. IPSC World Shoot coming up in 3 weeks, Neil, and it is one of the largest events, most prestigious events. Prestigious, tomato, potato.
Great event.
Taking an English lesson today.
The main thing you need to know about the IPSC World Shoot is October 12th. That'll be the opening ceremonies. There's a parade through downtown Lakeland starting around 5 p.m. with an open ceremonies approximately 6:30 p.m. Olympic-style opening ceremonies. Be downtown Lakeland, see over 80-plus countries coming in. That is on the 12th, October 12th. Closing ceremony is what you're thinking on the 19th.
But what is IPSC? So help us out with that.
International Practical Shooting Confederation. It's a great event, but I know we got to run.
It's the Super Bowl of shooting sports.
It absolutely is. Sunsplash Vacation Homes, People's Barbecue, Holiday Inn Express, Hungry Howie's, and The Ledger, some of the great partners that made this show possible.
Absolutely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you can get re-airs of this show and check us out even more. But our next live show is going to be September 19th. So check us out then. Same bat time, same bat channel. For those of you that remember the original Batman, I do. I think you probably do too.
I do too.
But anyway, following dates and times, you can catch those re-airs, which I just mentioned. You can check out Neil, you check out Mark. We'll be glad to see you again.